What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Should have liked and sub, and let's get into this. James O'Keefe finally did his Disney expose, the Disney tapes. This is part one. James, obviously formerly of Project Veritas, using some of the same tactics here while sending in undercover reporters, operatives, whatever you want to call them here. In this case, for senior vice president at the Walt Disney Company, detailing discriminatory hiring practices. And you're going to see here, I mean, he thinks Giordano, he thinks he's on a date, and he's straight, by the way, but despite the way he sounds and acts. And so Michael Giordano, he's the senior vice president and team lead. He was working for 20th Century Fox, of course, when Disney bought Fox, which means that they bought him basically as an employee. But here we go. Let's just watch this. We're going to react. I was waiting for the weekend, 20 minutes. We're going to go through it. Let's see. Some of the clips that we've seen, they play them here in the beginning. It's like, oh yeah, already what we've heard and seen. It's just more confirmation. So let's get into this.
Certainly, there have been times where, there's no way we're hiring a white male.
Just kind of unspoken.
There are times when it's spoken, but
How would they say it?
there's no way we're hiring a white male. They say
Like straight to you, or okay?
They'd be very careful how they message that to agents.
According to these videotapes, Disney blatantly.
And again, many a times we have heard, based on skin color, they will not hire if you male and pale is stale. Shout out to Film Threat, Chris Gore, Alan Ng. We heard that way early on.
Discriminates against whites, white men in particular.
I think I'm sort of like well prepared for it. I'm well positioned for it. But as far as Disney's concerned, I'm a white male. That's not who they're looking to promote at the moment.
As a white guy, even Michael has his own doubts about the possibility for advancement for himself at Disney. In fact, Michael actually got to experience Disney's discrimination against white males firsthand.
I've been at the company 11 years now, so I have friends in HR and I have friends in those divisions, and they're like, look, nobody else is going to tell you this, Mike, but they're not considering any white males for a shot. They're just not.
And time and time again, we have heard that same comment, but for writing jobs. Oh, sorry, if you're a white male writer, no matter how talented you are, because of your skin color, more or less being told, can you go back and find a black person to come back and pitch this for you? Because sorry, or like, okay, maybe we can hire you, but you wanted to hire another writer. Are they white? Sorry.
They even passed over a qualified half-black person for a promotion because they didn't look black enough.
We wanted to hire somebody in the department a few years ago now, who was half black, but didn't appear half black. And there was a creative executive who was like, "We're not that's not what's going on." Like, they wanted somebody in meetings who would appear a certain way, and he wasn't gonna bring that.
Sorry, bro. We want a black guy so that when we have meetings, we can show off the melanation. Get a little bit of juice from it. So if they can't pass or they're not obviously black, then we're not going to hire them. Yeah. It don't get much more racist than that. And like the good actual racism, not that fun one that you call everyone racist when they don't like your movies. The actual racism where you judge people based on their skin color. Or granted, no word yet on if they think they're a lesser human, but they're certainly hiring and judging. So got some prime prejudice there. Discrimination.
I mean, it kind of feels like we're, at some point there's going to be a lawsuit.
And America's First Legal already has a lawsuit for this going in California. And something tells me that Gina Carano one is definitely going forward.
That's kind of how it feels, just because of,
And that is a lawyer talking. So how does Disney explain pushing these discriminatory practices? They use code words and buzzwords.
I'm guessing that there is a acceptable code words and buzzwords that are used to explain what that they're looking for. They might say something like, look, we're not looking at the usual suspects for this job. So it's not a legally actionable thing.
And that falls in line with what we again have heard from Film Threat and other inside sources, where they say things like, we're not going to be going for your typical Hollywood lead. We're not going to be going for the usual suspects. We're not going to be going to your typical, it's not going to be your normal all things which really mean we're not going to hire a straight white male. Male and pale is stale. Again, shout out to Chris Gore and them for the film threat, and all of those D files and the inclusion list that we've heard. Again, being proven true by inside sources. Senior vice president and team lead.
So everybody knows what it means. They, for writers and actors, you hear all the time, like, looking to hire writers and actors who bring diversity. I'm not looking to bring on any more clients who are.
Welcome to the Disney Tapes. My name is James O'Keefe, standing here in Burbank, California, outside Disney corporate headquarters. This is our first part in a series about blatant discrimination and woke policies at the Walt Disney Company. To say that the Disney Company has had its...
And then shout out, we're going to go forward to the actual... I mean, I do respect the grip, but okay. There we go.
$5 per kit today.
Buy your medical emergency kits.
We have a diversity, equity, and inclusion department who's very involved in what.
So just for clarification, there's two different women that he went on a date with that he thinks they went through the dating app Hinge. And so he thinks he's on a date. Now, how he hasn't noticed they're both asking him very specific questions, I don't know. They must be very good actresses. But yeah.
Like setting standards to make sure that our shows have diversity.
Do you think like Bob has a say in the diversity stuff when they're casting people? Like
100%.
So what
He gives the director. I mean,
for each show? For each
not that specifically, but like, hey, I want every show to have substantial.
Every show to have substantial diversity, and boy, have we seen that put in action. So if you're wondering, if you're thinking Bob just goes along with it for stock that he doesn't own, no, he is part of it. He's part of the agenda.
Iger, even as a chief diversity officer, now up until recently, that was Latondra Newton, who played a big part in dragging Disney full bore into its losing culture war by promoting discriminatory hiring practices and introducing gay, lesbian, transgender, non-binary, and other characters into Disney's children's animated series and films.
It's like an all-across thing, like all of HR. There's like that one specific person that kind of like, because I forgot the lady's name. She's the head of the.
I know you're talking about the head of the diversity.
The African American lady. Yeah. So is that like kind of her deciding?
She oversees a lot of that for sure. But it's pretty broad, I would say. There are other people in HR who are also focused on that. I would say a relatively large percentage of our.
And by the way, yeah, I know you're thinking it. Yeah, that's a straight dude. Welcome to a California straight dude. That's what a man accounts for now. The beta, low T.
Top writer creators happen to be there, and a lot of
just by happenstance.
I mean, like just like if you say whatever, I don't know, whatever 10 or 15% of the population is there, I would guess that 30 to 35% of our top writers.
I might question those statistics a little bit, but that's the one about its writers, I believe.
Yeah, and so I think a lot of them lean into trans stories more than the average straight writer would.
And in an odd twist,
where have we seen that put into practice? Jesus. Again, how much more confirmation can you get?
You have to be a white Jewish guy to be considered for a C-suite job. More on that next week. But now let's meet Los Angeles-based Michael Giordano, a white male and Walt Disney Senior Vice President of Business Affairs.
I do like business affairs, so like negotiations for television.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. Nice. That's really cool.
Not really like on the creative side. So a lot of it is like knowing like the guild agreements and the union agreements and everything. Like make offers for the writers and the actors who are going to be out working on the show, and the producers and the directors, and try to like get to a place where we can be able to deal with them, help the production to budget.
They're just diversity hires, so make sure you lowball them.
And so much of my job is just the negotiating room, and then other people are doing kind of the drafting of the contracts. So,
oh wow! So yeah, what's the negotiating like?
I'm like sitting down trying to figure out, okay, what are we gonna pay this actor for this role? What do we think they want? What
Oh wow.
kind of strategize that. Everything from
You see that she's constantly moving her hidden camera.
how you produce a show, how you distribute a show,
Maybe she has a
exhibit
booby
show, how you market a show,
necklace camera.
things like that. All of the negotiations and deal making that's related to it.
Yeah.
One, well, actually two of our brave undercover journalist and American swiper investigative reporters met Michael on the dating app Hinge. And aside from this story, which focused on Disney's overt discrimination against white men, you'll see later on in this report, and it'll be quite entertaining, Michael turns out to be quite the ladies' man.
How long have you been on dating out?
Not very long.
Have you been going out?
Not a lot. Not a lot.
Anything worth?
You know what's funny? No.
Let's dig right into Disney's blatant practices of discrimination. If you're wondering how Disney as a company looks at race, gender, and discrimination in the hiring process, about how they recruit and hire talent, look no further.
I think there are times when it's like so front and center. It's like great because that's the focus. Like we have so many shows where we're casting and we're like, yeah, we're not even going to see certain people for it because we need
white people
to the role to
we're not even going to see certain people for it. What are those certain people? Oh, straight white men. We're not going to see them. Yeah.
So is it intentional that they want they only look for diverse candidates for certain roles?
Yeah. I think there's certainly a belief that it's just good for society.
And weaponized compassion. That is a lot of it.
But there's also a belief that we're going to make more money if we appeal to a wider variety of people, and it's a good thing. We have shareholders too.
All evidence to the contrary. Shareholder stock prices all gone. I don't understand that line of logic. Maybe once, it's just been proven not true.
And so diversity helps with that.
Diversity helps with financial incentive.
Unless you're talking about ESG.
So is it do you think it's more so on that side, or using any good prices that's put to use, or
regardless? I think it gives them regardless, but I think that there are even conservative people who may not want to lean into it can easily make the argument that we make more money when we appeal to a wider variety of people, and that means diversity.
Yeah.
There's a real focus on every show. And I'm sure the movies too, though I don't deal with that side. So, just making sure that the writers' room has a real, diversity, not just gender or sexual orientation and ethnicity, but making sure that they're hiring some writers who have certain disabilities.
I thought for a second he was going to say some diversity of thought. Nope. Wait, it's not just skin color, sexuality. We want to make sure there's some gimps. We want to make sure there's some blind people that can't walk right. Holy shit.
Since there's kind of a really broad look whenever we're doing that to make sure that everybody gets.
Yeah.
A broad look.
So they talk a big game about DEI, but do they actually?
Okay. I think we can leave it right there. Let's see what he's going to say.
Apparently so. They even passed over a qualified half-black person for a promotion.
Okay, and now it just goes into, because they showed some of the best parts. Now it's all that stuff that we watched in the beginning about the executive that they passed over because he didn't look black enough and they just wanted to use him for his skin color. Yeah, holy crap. So what did we find out? Yes, Bob Iger did indeed direct them to have extra sauce on their diversity hiring. So that is a directive. And yes, they somehow, maybe they're including ESG funding and that type of money, to them, apparently it's profitable, even though stock prices and 2023 worth of movies, with the exception of Guardians, $1 billion lost. So yeah, I don't know how it would still be profitable, but okay. Wow. And yeah, just confirmation that it is 100% against white men and white people specifically. And yeah, all right. Thank you. Can't wait for part 2. Let me know what you think of this. Make sure to like, share, and sub if you have done that. Thank you. If you're gonna do that, thank you.
Well, bye.